back, baby. Investing Bros is back. Tim did his video this morning, and I'm doing the live. We're bringing it to you. We've got some pretty interesting news stories as well today. We're going to break them down and tell you guys why they matter, right? And at a couple points in the show, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to like and consider subscribing to the video. I don't feel I've earned that just yet, though, right? So I'm not going to ask you to do that without a little bit of value delivered first. So let's get into the value. First of all, got some very bullish news. This is something we get a couple times a quarter. We're getting it right here before the end of 2023. MicroStrategies has acquired an additional 14,620 Bitcoin for another $615 million. Goodness gracious. He cannot be stopped, folks. He's Michael Saylor, and he's out of control. You gotta love it. I gotta love it. So he's DCAing here at an average price of $42,100 per Bitcoin. And as of yesterday, he holds, and by he, MicroStrategies holds just under 200,000, 150,000 Bitcoin for 5.9 billion at an average entry of 31,168 per Bitcoin. So pretty good. The average entry is slightly higher than mine, which is nice. Nice to see. I think I'm at like 28,900 is my average entry. So the point is here, though, guys, is he's still buying, right? He's still buying. And although MicroStrategies is kind of known for not necessarily buying the bottoms, right? Sometimes buying the tops. It is very bullish to see continued buying pressure from one of the biggest buyers of Bitcoin. Especially in anticipation of what's to come here in just a few days now, in January 10th. So we're all counting down the days, and it's very, very exciting. Something like 13 days, 14 days. I think December has the 31st, right? So 14 days until January 10th, where all bets are off. We will find out before the end of the day if there's going to be the 21 shares ARK Invest spot Bitcoin ETF, if that's going to be approved, delayed, or disapproved. And the delay is kind of a big asterisk. I think that one is pretty crazy if they try to go that route. I don't know, what you tell me in the comments, which is crazier, a delay of the ARK Invest spot Bitcoin ETF or a disapproval. I think approval at this point is still around 90% likely on January 10th, but let me know what's crazier, a disapproval or a delay. I wouldn't put it past Gary to do something along these lines, but I do have a running bet with Tim that he will approve them, that the board over at the SEC will approve these spot Bitcoin ETFs, and it'll be across the board, except for this one. The Grayscale one is a little bit more complicated, and Eric Bulkanis is weighing in yet again. He's kind of the chief ETF strategist over there at Bloomberg. So let's take a look at what he has to say. Grayscale finally surrendering to cash-only creations was a big holdout. Pretty sure they have an AP agreement, a crucial last step, so that would check all the boxes. That said, still a mystery whether they will be able to, whether they'll be allowed to go on day one of the Cointucky Derby. I hope that this term catches on, because I love that. I think it's an excellent way to visualize and to conceptualize what we're about to see with this ETF race. Obviously, Grayscale has a very, very big head start, right? Because all they have to do is flip their trust into a spot ETF, which is what trusts are actually. They have that capability, but they have to be approved by the SEC. So they have a huge, I think it's like $40 billion head start on BlackRock, which BlackRock, of course, does not like, right? So that's why that could be one of the contributing factors to why there's been such a delay in getting, regulatory clarity for these ETF issuers. But let's read on. Even Grayscale this is from James Seyfert, even Grayscale is accepting the SEC's cash-only creation redemption edict. Looks like they're bending the knee, right? So this has implications on how these ETFs will function, but I don't think that it's any more bullish or any less bullish. I think it's just really, it's slightly more profitable from what I understand for the issuers. But they're still going to get wet, folks. Don't worry. Don't feel bad for BlackRock here, guys. BlackRock is going to be okay. We've done what we can, and they're going to be able to push through. MicroStrategies continue to buy and really help out, BlackRock and keep the price high for them. I think it'll all be okay. Well, somebody who thinks it's going to be more than okay is a billionaire Tim Draper. Billionaire Tim Draper predicts that Bitcoin's price is going to reach $250,000 in 2024, which is very, very big, very, very big deal. Tim Draper, obviously wildly successful investor. Let's read a little bit of kind of his reasoning for this. Tim Draper's opinion is grounded in several key factors, including potential approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Draper's prediction is not the first of its kind, as many industry experts and analysts have been speculating about BTC's remarkable potential in the coming year. The anticipation surrounding the SEC's possible approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF has fueled these expectations, with many eyeing early 2024 as potential time frame for the introduction. Discussing his earlier Bitcoin forecast, Draper recalls how he had predicted a price of $250,000 for the cryptocurrency when it was trading at just $4,000. So Tim Draper, you might think that he's spinning out this prediction right now. He's been saying it since Bitcoin was at $4,000. That's crazy, absolutely insane to think about. He noted that his initial forecast did not account for the cautious approach and regulatory hurdles the U.S. would encounter. Draper contrasted this with a more progressive stance taken by countries like El Salvador. More progressive is an understatement. Like countries like El Salvador, where Bitcoin has been embraced as legal tender. And then here's a direct quote. It looks like, "We are going through the boom cycle," Draper emphasized, underscoring his belief that Bitcoin's price could reach $250,000 in the near future. He further suggested that if it does hit this target, it could potentially surpass it, opening new horizons for the cryptocurrency. Very, very exciting stuff there. If you are one to give any kind of credence to these predictions, this is a very bullish one. 250,000 would be astronomical move. Somebody let me know in the chat, how many X's is that? Let me know what you think. We got a super chat here from none other than the Piper Sniper, the man himself, the first sergeant, donating $4.99 of his hard-mined fiat currency. He said, "Welcome back, T-Shroom. Missed my morning IBZ before Piper Academy live stream." Absolutely. No, folks, if you're not tracking that Army Piper goes live right after this, then you're crazy, because I say it almost every single show, right? It's a lot of fun over there at the Piper Academy. You got OC, you got TradeFly as well. So you got a couple of new faces in the YouTube space, and they're really doing it huge over there. They're not messing around, and they're also a lot of fun for sure. So be sure to go check out the Piper Academy. Hopefully he'll drop a link here, Piper Academy YouTube channel, just after this show. And you're also maybe wondering, but T-Shroom, how come you're not talking about Solana? How come you're not talking about Cardano? Today is going to be a little bit more of a Bitcoin day, right? So we can do potentially some other charts, but I have a feeling we won't get through the news fast enough because there's a couple more stories. And so if you want to learn more about Cardano and ADA, I encourage you to go check out the Investing Bros video that Tim just put out, right? It's this one right here with this thumbnail. Big breakout for Cardano is coming. $1 ADA is close. So after this video, be sure to go check that one out. It's going to be a very, very big video for you to watch if you're excited about Cardano. This video, there's literally no news today about Cardano. Maybe there is that slipped through the cracks. But this is a Bitcoin day, right? Very big Bitcoin day, as MicroStrategy has gone ahead and bought more. Okay. Well, let's see what else we can find out. What's going on in the chat? What's going on with you guys? Hey there, Nancy and Mr. J, said Army Piper. Thank you again, Piper, for that super chat. That's super awesome way to start out our big IBZ comeback, Investing Bros comeback. Gotta love it. Mr. J, one of the most active traders in the Investing Bros Discord, is Mr. J. He's so awesome. He's always posting the gains he's making, sometimes the losses, which are important. A lot of respect for you, Mr. J, for posting some of those losses, because it gives an idea that, hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in the leverage trading world. As anyone who's done it knows, you definitely lose more than you win when you're just starting out. So it gives you a little bit of hope there and a little bit of perspective and realistic expectations. If you want to be a part of the Investing Bros Discord where the discussion never ends, you can go to the first link in our description, free Investing Bros Discord. You can just click that link and it'll send you right where you need to be to get set up for one of the most insightful and active crypto discords ever to exist. Let's see, we've got some more news here, but let me keep going in the chat. Nancy Croy saying good morning. What's up, Nancy? Good to see you. A mellow fella said, GM, everyone. It's good to be back. It is absolutely good to be back. And Army Piper emphatically agrees. I love to see it. Dylan Martinez says, OP is going OP. Overpowered, of course, would be the acronym there being used by Dylan Martinez, saying optimism is going OP. Love to see it. Love to see it. Crypto Mini Bike said, good morning, everyone. Meek Vision also expressing a similar sentiment. Brian D said, good morning, good people. So lots of folks wishing you a good morning. So if you have a bad morning, that's on you. That is on you, bro. Crux of Crypto saying IB is back, baby. We're getting a lot of very, very good vibes coming our way. And of course, Gia S coming in hot, saying smash the like, everyone. Yes, I believe that you have gotten the value that is due to you for clicking on this video. Thank you so much. If you are new to Investing Bros, I am T. Shroom, and I'm really glad that you've decided to spend your morning here with me. I know that there's a lot of other channels that you could be tuned into, but Investing Bros is actually one of the most generous out there, and we also try to keep a level head. We try not to get too crazy. We try to be, honestly, fairly conservative for the crypto space, even though we'll give some picks in the lower cap gem kind of category. We do like to be conservative and kind of lean on the bias of retaining our capital rather than over risking and over leveraging. It looks like Piper has dropped a link in there today, so that's really good. You guys can go ahead and check out his YouTube channel, Piper Academy, and you'll be getting a lot more exposure to in-depth technical analysis, but they also cover the news over there as well. Great friends of the show. Jonathan Derby said, Bitcoin moved today, ? 45K zone soon? Maybe. We will see. We got some news stories that may help answer that question. Eric Wallen, of course, jumping in here. T-Shroom knows better than to view that Discord live on the show. Absolutely. And then here's a little bit more from Crux saying, here for the alpha, stayed for the duct tape banana on the wall. Absolutely. Nobody knows it better than Crux. We're going to go ahead and move on, guys, because we've got a little bit more bullish news here. Again, would have been the biggest bullish narratives of 2023, the last two quarters here in Q3 and Q4. It has been, in no particular order, the spot Bitcoin ETF approval potential, right? It could have been approved in 2023. It's looking like that's not going to happen, although we do still have, 4 days left. My guess is definitely not going to happen in 2023, right? We've also had the halving narrative. That's not going anywhere. That's algorithmically predictable, and that is going to be happening sometime in early to mid-April, probably the 12th of April, right? But you also have this story here, and this has been another very, very bullish story that has come in, I believe, just as in Q4, and that is that the 10-year Treasury yields, this is a headline today, dips as investors weigh the 2024 outlook for interest rates, right? So the Fed has been continually beating the drums of hike all through 2023, and then pause, but we're still reserving the right to hike in case the data is showing us something we don't like, right? Jerome has said that again and again, but in the last Fed meeting, there was some very, very dovish talk of cuts, right? And that they may be starting to get comfortable with the idea of a cut. And of course, they go very slow. They very gingerly introduce these new terms and phrases that they haven't used in past recent meetings and press releases, right? So they're not just going to come out and say we are going to cut, right? They're going to be very ginger with their words, okay? Well, that trickles into the 10-year, and we'll take a look at that right now. I've got the Bitcoin chart up. You guys can feast your eyes on that. That's a live chart. But I'm going over here to the 10-year to show you guys that the yield is going down, and even today's candlestick, it's red, and it's testing to try to put in a new low, which as a candle body, it is currently coming in lower than this previous low candle body from the 21st. So that's pretty bullish for Bitcoin. Why? Well, because it's less of an incentive for money to go live in treasuries, right? It's less of an incentive. So that is less attractive. Now, don't get it twisted. It's not like every dollar that was going to go buy treasuries is going to go buy Bitcoin. That is absolutely not the case. It's probably, my estimation is probably about 10 cents on every dollar is going to go find its way into the cryptocurrency world, and probably about 7 cents of that 10 cents is going to go live in Bitcoin. Pulling those numbers completely out of my head, right? But that's probably not too far off what we are likely to see with so much bullish potential in the Bitcoin name for 2024. So let's move on, guys. That's the 10-year, and there's a lot of stories about that circulating. This is one of the top headlines here on CNBC.com. Of course, the leading mainstream media in finance news. So that is, that's something we're going to continue to monitor. Similarly as important, which I don't have a story on, but it's important, is the Dixie, right? The Dixie continues to do exactly the same. It's making its way down to the bottom band of this regression channel, and it's not looking good for the Dixie, right? So there's never been a better time to swap your dollars for literally anything else, which is kind of the definition of what the Dixie is, right? So if it does go ahead and break down out of this regression trend, as it did back here, you're likely to see Bitcoin do some fireworks, right? You're also likely to see probably U.S. equities do some fireworks. Okay, I mentioned that that as money diverts from U.S. Treasuries, that risk-free income, right, that the U.S. Treasuries offer, about 10 cents goes to crypto, right? Of course, I'm coming up with that number myself, off on the fly. But some of the other, what happens to the other 80 cents, or the other 90 cents, excuse me? Well, that's going a lot to the stocks. It's going a lot to U.S. stocks, a little bit to maybe European and Asian stocks, right? But it's also then going to real estate, or just sitting in cash, right? Or paying someone's rent, right? So just because they're not going into treasuries doesn't mean it's going straight into Bitcoin. There's other investments out there, as you well know. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Taking a look at the Dixie here, it is telling nothing but a story of buy Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is going higher, and ever since the Dixie peaked out here on October 3rd, we have seen Bitcoin do quite a bit of upside. So the Dixie, one of the best ways to predict price movement for Bitcoin, especially on a weekly time frame, and we get that right there with that analysis. We'll move on here from kind of the macro back into Grayscale, which has refiled the Bitcoin ETF applications, and Barry Silbert departs. Now, guys, I have not been following like a hawk the GBC, the DCG, the DCG narrative, the Digital Currency Group narrative. DCG owns Grayscale. It also owns CoinDesk, right? So it owns a lot of major institutions within the crypto space, and one of the biggest ones is Grayscale. So I'm going to turn to, for our coverage of this, I'm going to turn to Ram, a CFA, certified financial analyst, right? We're going to turn to someone else who's been following this much more closely and what they've been tweeting out as of, I believe, today. Let's take a look here. When it was tweeted out, December 26th. Okay, so yesterday, at around 10 a.m. was when it was amended. So let's take a look at this, though. This is important. Who is Barry Silbert? He is the top dog over at DCG, which of course is the parent company of Grayscale. And as Grayscale is trying to wrestle with the SEC to get approval so that it can flip its trust into an ETF and become much more favorable and competitive with the spot Bitcoin ETFs that ARK Invest is going to float, that BlackRock is going to float, Fidelity, Valkyrie, all of these, Invesco, all of these, famous ETF issuers, it wants a seat at that table. It wants to be able to come out and be competitive with those names. In order to do that, here is what they've done, right? Barry Silbert has stepped down. He's the CEO. So let's take a look. Barry's resignation was an Xmas gift for this person here, Sonnenheisen, the CEO of Grayscale Disclosures, right? So that's the new CEO, or that is the CEO of Grayscale, excuse me. So it's a Christmas gift to him. Let's find out why. What to make of Silbert's resignation from Grayscale? Well, here it is. Grayscale has had 9 meetings with the SEC per the table below. We'll show you that table in just a second. Brought to you by James Seyffert. Today, there are only allegations against DCG, which have not been resolved in a court of law. Even though the evidence submitted in the complaint looks damning, it sure looks like DCG is a modern Enron. These are still allegations. The SEC has their own investigation against DCG, which is led by Barry Silbert. Okay, so his read on this, again, this is this gentleman here, Ram, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last one, Lumida. So Ram Lumida, he's a CFA. He is the CEO of Lumida Wealth and also founded some other companies. Right, but he feels that he's got his finger on the pulse of this story, so that's why we're reading it from him. So his read is that this is a decision from Barry to improve the odds of the ETF approval. Very interesting. I doubt the SEC gave formal guidance to Barry to resign from the board. Barry, by all accounts, is hands-on and would prefer control. The SEC should not weigh in on how Grayscale should govern itself. Perhaps the SEC might indicate formally the strength of an application, purely speculating. Okay? And then 3, Sonnenheisen, again, that's not how you pronounce that. Sonnen Sheen, right, who we remember is the CEO of Grayscale, which is a subsidiary of DCG, has one of the best jobs in the world. He has emerged unscathed from the drama of the DCG mothership. Barry's resignation gives Grayscale better opportunity. And of course, here's the table that was referred to just moments ago. So this was big news, guys, that Barry Silbert resigns from Grayscale board of directors. Right? So it's very, very big news. And it's important because what that means is that, in my opinion, is that Barry thinks that he is a bit of a poison in the well of Grayscale being able to get the spot Bitcoin ETF transition approval, right? Because currently it's a trust, and it will be a spot Bitcoin ETF. It's going to be an interesting road, but what we've seen in 2023, right, is the rolling of the heads of kings in the space of crypto, right? What do I mean by that? Well, you have Binance, where not literally heads rolling, but CZ left, right? Okay. And now you're seeing Barry, right? And many other leaders of very, very large crypto institutions completely being removed from that which they built, right? So this is kind of the third in the line of those. The first, of course, being SBF, which completely capitulated in a monumental way. Then you had CZ, and now you're getting Barry. So it's a pretty big deal, guys, and it's going to be interesting to watch. I may have to continue to monitor this story because it could have broader implications. But let me turn to the chat and see what we got going on, what is being discussed. Let's see. Remington Peralt has said T-Shroom many times. Army Piper helping you all remember to hit the like button. And I would call you all, please, to hit the like button. And I would really appreciate that. Dylan Martinez said, I didn't notice the banana. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, we got the banana right here. How could you not notice it? You got to take a look every once in a while at the screen. Absolutely. ADA's jumping in the chat saying, what's up? World Mobile has launched air nodes in Reno. Guys, if you haven't taken a look into World Mobile, you absolutely should. I have not yet invested in World Mobile very much. I do have a very, very little bit just to get my toes wet. But take a look at World Mobile. It's almost like a Starlink for Africa, and it's a crypto project. So to go take a look at that, the team looked pretty legit. They've done a bunch of public and private kind of speeches and AMAs, and I was very impressed. And ADA is all in. ADA Ace is all in on the project, so you got to love it. Remington Peralt said, celebrating 5 months of membership, T-Shroom with the Alpha Power-Up. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Remington Peralt. That is super, super sweet. 5 months of membership. You got to give it up for him. Let's give it up for Remington, guys. Khalid asking, ADA, where will go? Pretty sure you're asking, what is kind of the price future for Cardano? Well, I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but I'll give you a quick little chart gaze for Cardano, and then we will wrap up the show. Guys, it's looking very bullish for Cardano, I will say, just right off the rip. Again, I would go ahead and watch the video that Tim made, which is right over here on the Investing Bros channel. It's right here. It was put out 40 minutes ago, an in-depth look at the charts for Cardano. Tim does it he does it better than I do, and that's the whole format of the video, right? So I would encourage you to go check that out. But just looking at it, it's very bullish, right? You're getting higher lows on each one of these 3 wicks, right? You're staying above the midline of the Bollinger Band on the daily charts, and you had a nice little pennant breakout. This is all the result of a pretty big breakout. You are starting to see these red histograms accelerate, right? So to grow a bit more bearish, and you also are seeing the Ichimoku. I just say whatever I want with that one. The Ichimoku leave the bullish zone. However, I will say that it's putting in currently a higher low, right? Which is desirable. That's favorable if you're bullish on Cardano. So I'm not someone who tries to get in and out of Cardano in any kind of regular fashion. I'm a buyer and a holder of Cardano and the occasional DCAer of Cardano. So I think we have very, very bright days ahead of us for Cardano, and it may look similar to the Solana charts in percentage gains, when it's all said and done. By the end of 2025, we might see Cardano have some similar success. So very excited about that. Let's take a look at another couple of charts that are absolutely exploding today. OP doing really well, very overpowered, up 15%, doing real well. Bitcoin Cash actually doing fairly well as well, although staying inside this general kind of trend that it's been in. You can see outlined by the Bollinger Band upper and lower bands. So it's not quite breaking out, I wouldn't say. It still has a lot it could potentially go up. Back into the north of 500. So it still has ways to go. Bitcoin Cash does. This is going to be another institutional darling, kind of in the same realm as like Litecoin, and I think about I mean Bitcoin, similar in that institutions are going to be a very big fan of it. Another coin that I've had my eye on is Kaspa. So Kaspa actually getting a nice retrace here. Crypto Galaxy, another pretty cool crypto channel, has predicted that this bad boy is going to come back down to 9, right? And it already has wicked back into 9 back in the 18th of December, right? You could have picked up Kaspa down here in the 9 range. That may be as low as it goes, and we see Kaspa go higher, but my guess is we'll get a couple more legs down, and you'll be able to get Kaspa lower. Why would you want to buy Kaspa? Well, that's the subject for another video. If you just go to our channel here on Investing Bros and just search up Kaspa, right, you will actually get a decent amount of results because we've talked about Kaspa a couple of different times. See, there's me, and I just can't even believe it. Look at my face there. I just can't. I'm just overwhelmed. It's going to be pretty intense. Whenever there's the biggest bullish things about Kaspa is that it's going to be yet to be listed, right? So when it gets listed on the likes of Coinbase and Binance, it's going to be very, very bullish for it. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to Investing Bros. Let me also mention that today's video was brought to you by NordVPN. We didn't put it at the front, we put it at the back, but it is just as important to note that NordVPN is going to help you get to where you need to be in terms of internet security. Guys, all you've got to do is go down into our description here and click on the NordVPN link. You will get 2 years plan plus 1 additional month with a huge discount. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. You're going to be able to get your money safe, your cryptocurrency safer, more safe than it already is, using internet security tools like NordVPN. And you can also get this awesome risk-free package through the Investing Bros. You support the channel, and you're going to support your own internet security with this tool. That's NordVPN. You can get it in the description of this here video. Thank you so much for watching. Army Piper's going live, probably already live here, a minute into the show, over at Piper Academy. Piper, love you. Crux of Crypto, also love you. Thanks you so much for everybody who tunes in. And it's great to be back. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Investing Bros. Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.